So online teaching, some experiences. Now before I begin, what is the meaning of some experiences? Rather, I would request you to tell me whose experiences we are talking about or going to talk about in this session. Let me make it very clear. It is not just my experiences. It is your experiences equally, because experiences of everyone are different and each experience can be very useful, very meaningful. So it is not just my experience, it is your experience also. As a student, as a teacher, as researcher, sometime as assistant to provide technical support, because we all were new to it. Indeed, we are still new to this type of technology. So this mode of expression in the area of education and teaching, there were two forms. One is the classical form, other is the modern form. When I say modern, I do not mean this modern of maybe online teaching. Classical form or conventional form means that we go to the class. Classes are of various types. Those who have gone to government run primary school, they know what type of classes were those. So they were conventional classes. Then second category is the modern classes. But again I say modern classes are not something which is modern, which has become modern in last 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. The concept of smart classes, use of projectors, PPTs, they had been a part of this for last maybe many, I would say decades. Indeed, in the higher education, the smart classes come late. In the primary educations, in various private schools, I had seen the smart classes maybe in the beginning of this century. So when we say modern, we never mean modern in this sense. Now, this is the another step towards modernization, and that is smart class, projectors, PPTs, not just in physical classes, but in the online class. Now, what are the challenges and opportunities? There are 4 stakeholders here: teachers, non-teaching staff, students, and the institutes. Students are in the third category, but indeed the national education policy says that it is now the first stakeholder. It is now the central figure. So every policy has to address the welfare of the students, the convenience of the students. But as we are discussing here in FDP, I am more concerned to teachers, their potential development. Of course, the students and others are equally significant for us. While discussing this online classes, there are 3 things which according to me are very significant. One is access to online classes. Second is communication during online classes. And third, probably the most important thing, is the quality of class. What type of class it is. See, when a new thing comes, there is a natural inhibition. There is a natural or usual type of apprehension. Some apprehensions are correct, some are maybe type hypothesis, some are completely wrong. I remember when Rajiv Gandhi, our late Prime Minister, introduced or started talking about computers in the decades of 80s, there were great apprehensions. Indeed, the opposition has alleged that he is trying to sold the whole country to the Americans, because if the computers will come, there will be unemployment. It will only help the people who can afford. It is anti-poor. But we all know that computers, about whatever were told about computers, that were proved to be completely wrong. It has created new opportunities. It has indeed been very useful in access to various things, various services. Now computer is a part of everyday life. When I say that it is a part of everyday life, I am conscious of the fact that there are crores of people who cannot afford computers. They cannot afford indeed a mobile phone. So I'm very much conscious about the fact that a lot of them cannot afford computers. So my whole point is that there are apprehensions, but many of those apprehensions are completely wrong. And I'm sure apprehensions which are raised about online teaching can also be diluted, can also be addressed very significantly. See, I always say this online technology, internet, is a type of new independent movement. Why is it a type of new independent movement? It is because we are no more dependent on big cities. We are no more dependent on big libraries. We are no more dependent on metropolitan culture. Let me give you a small illustration. During 90s, I was studying in Banaras Hindu University in the law school. And I found that when I was in probably LLB third year or second year, I found certain students of LLM from Gorakhpur University, which are not very far. Maybe this is 5 hours from Banaras. They came to BHU. I asked them, why did you come? They told me, I have come here to see the report of the Law Commission. I asked, is it not available there? They said, no, it is not available. They also informed that some of the judgments, some of the reports are not easily available to them because it is a state university. And in the state university, there are financial crunch as well as there is difference of approach. So in Banaras Hindu University, they came to see Law Commission report. Incidentally, after 6 years, I became teacher in Gorakhpur University itself. And then I found that because of internet facility available, accessible, and there was greater penetration, the students were not rushing to Banaras Hindu University. Why? Because the Law Commission report was already uploaded on the website of Law Commission and one can easily approach. Of course, those days internet was very slow. So this is one such incident which indicates that internet is a type of independent movement. It makes us independent. Someone is Guwahati, someone is Guntur, someone maybe in remote place, maybe in Leh, Ladakh or Srinagar. He need not always to come to Delhi or maybe Mumbai for some type of material. Even to contact professors, because now on internet one can contact. So therefore I say that it is a type of independent movement. Sometimes these days what I feel is that even Harvard Law Journal and Oxford Law Journal, they can come to your inbox free of cost. You need only to subscribe it and it comes to you free of cost. Every month I have not subscribed, I have not paid anything. Not even it is the institutional subscription. It comes free of cost. It stays for a longer period as long as I want. So we are no more dependent. We cannot complain now that I cannot afford and I cannot go to Harvard, cannot go to Oxford, I cannot go to bigger library to study these things. So the first important point, that the access, internet has made the access very, very easy in comparison to previous days. And of course, those who can afford, it is certainly an independent movement for them. Now, regarding online teaching, I see probably the PPT is not moving. Yes.
Oh, it is moving now.
It is moving now, yes. So, regarding online interaction or physical interaction, this is always a type of yaksha prashna, I would say, very difficult to answer. Which one is better? Online interaction or physical interaction? I have given you 4 options. OI for online, PI for physical interaction. You can say both or something else. I'd request everyone to write in chat box 1, 2, 3, 4. Let us see, is there any consensus or reasonable consensus among us on the aspect whether online teaching interaction is better or offline interaction is better, or both are better, both have their advantages, disadvantages, or there is any 4th opinion. Kindly write on the chat box so that we can make the session more and more useful, meaningful and interactive. Now, while the situation is known to all of us, it is desirable to let us make everyone aware, including me, what is the current situation. According to 2019 report, the internet penetration was 45 crore. 2021, it has gone to 75 crore, sharp rise, and which is understandable because of COVID. We all started, many people indeed, a smartphone has been purchased, computers have also been purchased, internet connections have been taken. I know my domestic servant and domestic servants at very places, many drivers, many helping people who are a part of our life, because the classes of their sons and daughters were online, they had to purchase it. This was an additional burden to them. So there is a sharp rise, which is understandable. Then there is a assessment that by 2025 it will be 90 crore. 90 crore people can have access to internet, but always take note, when I say access to internet does not mean an effective access to internet. 85% of the higher education students of higher education have access to internet does not mean all students have access. They come to the school or colleges, there they have access, they may not have access at home. And that is indicated that 41% students of higher education have internet at home. That means around 60% do not have internet at home in the higher education sector. This data may marginally vary from here to there. Infrastructure is one of the biggest challenge. How to make it available. Then access, how to maximize it. If you have any idea, please let us know. Let us discuss those ideas, how to maximize this access and how to make it effective. See, when we talk about access, there are 2 categories. One, those who can afford. I will discuss with you how I tried to maximize it. And the second category are those people who are on the margins, who are on the vulnerable group, financially not as blessed as we are. How to make their access also possible. Internet access should not remain like Ashoka Hotel, that everyone can go, but only a few can go to the Ashoka Hotel. So students cannot afford. We have to see how can we be instrumental. Whatever the government is doing, that is okay. There are teachers also who cannot join. There is probably little question of affordability, but then they cannot join big seminar conferences like this. I can understand people from many places they can join. If they have to join physically, there are many things. For example, number one, permission from the authority. Number two, the family conditions. Today I was talking to one of the staff and she told me that I have done 2 or 3 trainings. Had they called me, I would have never gone because I have a child. I will just suggest you, just put before you one incident of virtual hearing in the court. When the virtual hearing started, many advocates have criticized it. So, with the passage of time, when court started and suggestions were asked, should we go for total physical hearing or maybe hybrid type of hearing? Lady advocates indeed in Delhi, they have petitioned, they have insisted that we like virtual hearing. So hybrid should be the mode and we want to go for virtual hearing. Why? Because we have children with us. So I told you that internet is a type of freedom movement. Internet is also a type of facilitator, ensuring that equal opportunity is made available to male and female in this case. So, like gents advocate, lady advocates can also reach on time and find and explore other opportunities. Then the case of live telecast and recorded proceeding of the court. It was a type of dream. Indeed, many people in Delhi itself cannot go to see the proceeding of the court because of security reasons, because of overcrowding also. But now live telecast is going on and the recorded proceeding is also available. So if it is okay, you can see the live telecast of some of the proceeding of the Supreme Court. And if it is not possible, you go to the Supreme Court website and then proceedings are recorded and you can just have the first-hand experiences of how the courts are functioning. So this is, I would say that the third significant point of internet is that it has made available the democracy closer to many of us. It has made the democracy really vibrant in nature. Now, regarding effectiveness of online teaching, there are various opinions. They are competing opinion, I would say. Now, I would just cite you 2 cases which are not related to our discussions but are some pointers. One case is K. Abbas case, 1971. This was on a movie. And pre-censorship of movie was challenged. And one of the challenge was that books are not required to go for pre-censorship. Dramas, theatre, natak, they are not required to go for pre-censorship. Why movies are going for pre-censorship? The Supreme Court has rightly acknowledged that scientific medium of communication are more effective and impactful than other mode of expressions. So the science says it is more effective. The law has recognized only. Similarly, 2015 case of Shreya Singhal, the court has recognized that internet is a distinct, like movies, internet media is distinct media because their impact and their effectiveness is different from other mode of communication. If we try to see some provisions, some legal provisions, we will find that before COVID indeed, University Grants Commission has notified online courses or programs regulations 2018. So use of internet, a huge country with a 135 crores of population, where around maybe 80 crores, 90 crores are in a position to study something. The classes, no infrastructure can compete with these people. So online has come as a boon to everyone. In 2021, UGC came up with a concept note that is called as blended mode of teaching and learning, which says that 40% can be online and 60% offline teaching. So many platforms are working. We are aware Swam platform, we are aware of e-content, and many other platforms are already working, and I think some of us must have contributed. Now, let me discuss with you the issue of access to internet, which is certainly a great challenge. In access to internet for the purpose of online teaching, there are 4 or 5 issues that I have experienced, and I think it is no different for you also. First is that you need a smartphone or a computer. A smartphone is cheap than the computer, therefore I am using the word smartphone. Maybe for 7,000 rupees, 5,000 rupees, you can have some type of affordability, maybe a limited affordability, but that money is not there with people. I've talked to many persons and they don't have money to buy a smartphone. In certain places, there is one smartphone and there are 3 sons or 3 daughters, or 1 son or 2 daughters. We can understand, even if there is one smartphone, it is not possible for them to access online studies. So this is one challenge that the government, the policy makers, the parliament and the academia needs to understand, appreciate and suggest what to do. Second challenge on access is, even if you have an internet, even if you have a smartphone, which is probably a one-time investment for maybe 1 year or 2 year or 3 year or 4 year, internet needs continuous investment. Data packages. Every month you have to pay it on 100 rupees, 150 rupees. So what can be done? It is good to know that at certain places there are Wi-Fi connectivity. So more and more Wi-Fi connectivity in certain areas with the investment from government and NGOs using CSR funds. This can be one easy way to do that, especially in those localities which are maybe low income group. The government is thinking and the CSR funds can be used for that purpose, that maybe free Wi-Fi can be made available for those places. If a smartphone cannot be made available to everyone, take example of one slum area, maybe Dharavi itself, one of the biggest. There can be, with some investment, the whole slum can be placed to that investment in such a fashion that free Wi-Fi is available to them, and the students can, as far as possible, make access to, and they are not handicapped just because though they have a smartphone, they don't have internet connectivity. Now, as I told you, and you also know, that there are many cases where smartphone is there, but internet connectivity is a great challenge because of continuous investment. So the internet charges needs to be maybe reduced, maybe subsidized, but how to do it is a great challenge. A great research work is required by the scientists, by sociologists, by law students also. Another issue is charging issue, that the classes, if we say the classes run for maybe 4 5 hours, 6 hours, charging issue comes. The means computer will be discharged, mobile will be discharged, because online, if we open the video, my students have told many times, when I told them why you are not opening video, they say that sir, I lose charging besides losing my internet package. This is another issue that needs to be addressed. This needs to be understood. Then fifth point is environment is not conducive many places. In my classes, I have found that sometimes the students are sitting and some construction is going on. You cannot stop construction which is going on. Maybe somewhere we are sitting and some construction is going on. This is beyond your control. So these noise, how to reduce it? Of course, you can change your place, but when you change your place, the problem of charging will come. So these are the challenges that we need to understand. And as a teacher, when we talk to the students, you do not open the video, you are not attentive, why there is charging trouble, we should keep in mind these issues. Just keep in mind. Then environment not conducive, not only because of construction site type example, but also because there are a lot of people, maybe crores of people, who still stay in slum. Yesterday I had an interaction in National Law University, Bangalore, which was a very good exercise on slum dwellers. And we came to know that only in Mumbai there are more than 1 crore people who stay in slum. In Andhra Pradesh there are more than 1 crore people who stay in slum. If we consider India, around 10 crore people who are still staying in slum, which is more than the population of Australia, which is the joint population of UK and Canada. So, of course, these developed countries can be one of the models. We need to address these all issues. So when we talk about online teaching, online studies, we need to understand there are 10 crore people who stay in slum, in a small hut, that is their drawing room, that is their bedroom, that is their kitchen, and just maybe in that vicinity sometime they have to relive also. This is the situation, and as a part of academia we need to be more and more sympathetic and more innovative how to address these issues. So these 5-6 challenges I found for the purpose of access. The best thing is that the online studies have made resource minimization. So when the classes in ILI started, the students were in Pune, students were in Mumbai, students were in Guwahati, students were in many other places. They were not coming to ILI during COVID because of lockdown restrictions and other restrictions. So certainly, with the help of some resources, the online education was possible. So many of them told that, sir, good amount of money we were able to save. So for example, if I have to stay in Delhi, I will have to spend at least 10,000 rupees every month. But now I am staying at my home, and when I am staying at my home, I can means secure some of my resources. So resource minimization has been done. Take example that many of you are from your side, your area, you are part of this lecture. Resource persons are not required to go here and there. So we can secure, save our time as well as money also. So there are various advantages, and some advantages are really are noteworthy. Now, the next important point is that regarding access and communication. Communication is the second significant point. Regarding access and communication, I think there are 4 challenges which leads to disturbances or non-access also. The first is know-how, because it is a new type of thing. So how to make link, how to connect, that is still a challenge for many. Now we are aware because we are practicing, but many people do not know. So the answer to this is that it is learning by doing. So we should do it instead of resting on other persons. Many of my very senior colleagues, they still need help of their staff and others. But let me give you a small illustration. My mother is around 75 years old. She was a Hindi teacher, and as she is 75 years old, she cannot move many places, but she gets some invitation from cultural group, literary group. She stays alone for 1000 kilometers from Delhi. So she asked me one day that I need computer. I told why what will you do with computer? She told me that I will join online meeting. I was very surprised. There was no one to help her. Then she got a computer. For 1 or 2 day visit, when I went, I made her know how to log in, how to create, and you will be now surprised to know that she's alone. She joins all type of literary events. So know-how is done by learning, and learning by doing. So even if we do not know, nothing is late. Let us understand that this is the present and future, and we have to understand and we have to know. So we cannot just say that my staff will do, or I don't have staff, or my brother has gone, or my sister is not here. We have to learn it. The way we have learned maybe mobile phones. We have not taken training for mobile phones, and now we do mobile phones. Similarly, we need not to take any training, and we can know how to do, and then we can make others to know. Then there are challenges which we faced initially. Mute and unmute. I think all of you know sometime how disturbing it was, how to mute, how to unmute, video on and off. Now I think most of us know it. Sharing and uploading. This PPT is being uploaded. Sharing and uploading remained a problem. Sometimes there is a problem, but we need to understand. Background change. This is another thing that we need to know, because it has issues of privacy. So we need to understand. We need to know. Second is the poor infrastructure. So now let me before I come to this poor infrastructure issue, know how I did it in my class. See, I came to know, well, the Indian Law Institute is the best institute, but still there are students who are not aware of PPT presentation. So what I did in my class, I told that in the assignment you have to compulsorily make a PPT presentation. Friends, I am very well aware that PPT presentation may not be the best mode, but it is one technology that we need to know. So I told everyone, no PPT, no presentation. There was some resistance, but because there are 5 marks, all students had presented their PPT, Some of them learnt also. I was also ready that if you never nobody let you know, please come to me and I will let you know how to make 5 PPTs. So for know-how as a teacher, some friendly compulsion can be made, and which is essential because we want them to know it. From institute is a place where the family trusts us, the government trusts us that the boy or the girl will be outside, and when he will outside, he will be aware of the technology, this minimum technology. Now coming to poor infrastructure, which always creates disturbances. Now, how I did it in ILI during LLM. Now, many students told me, I told, why did not you join? Well, sir, the infrastructure connectivity is poor. And therefore I could not join. Acha, why the video is not on? Same, poor bandwidth, infrastructure connectivity, this problem is there. So I told them that, see, you are all maybe working from your place, engaging class from your place. This was a time of lockdown. Students were not required to come to the classes. So I told them that you are saving around 10,000 rupees. So you cannot just blame this poor bandwidth because your internet connectivity is from your mobile phones. So you get a broadband connectivity, get a broadband plan, and broadband plan is generally available for maybe 1,000 rupees, and you get it, and you maybe this is a type of placing a budget from one side to other side. You are saving your budget from one side and you can use it for other side, and maybe for after 15 days or 20 days, I told them, if your video mode is not on, you are not going to get attendance. Now attendance is not something which will automatically improve the quality, but attendance has some say in that. And then if the video is on, you will be at least aware what is the student doing. So this is how I did in my class, and many other teachers I am sure must have done during lockdown period. So we also should encourage our students that if your internet plan is maybe little lower, you can enhance your plan. So this is one way that we can suggest the students that if it is not available, please make it available. Now there are outside factors I have already discussed with you. There are outside factors which are disturbing in the communication, like construction site, like sometime मॉर्निंग में अगर क्लास हो रही है तो सब्जी ले लो. These voices can come, and sometimes these voices are pleasant also. In one case I found that there was loud music coming, and I asked the student that why is it coming. He told the sir, I'm staying in one PG, one hostel room, and one of my hostel mate, he's in the habit of this loud music. So there are certain things which are beyond your control. We have to go with that. Another beyond control thing is electricity. So if you are connected with broadband, which I suggest everyone that we should be connected with broadband, the electricity goes and you are disturbed maybe for 3, 4, 5 minutes. Either electricity comes, or if you go for alternate site, it takes 4, 5 minutes. So we have to go with these type of things. They are part of life. Next significant point is quality. So we have dealt with access, we have dealt with communication, we are dealing with now quality issue. Now again the question is, what is the quality of teaching? What is the quality of delivery? And what is the quality of receptibility? Are they really receptive? I have heard from many faculty members that no, online teaching has receptive issues, serious receptive issues. and because we cannot interact physically, uh, there is poor reception. I do not subscribe to their views. I understand that there are receptive issues. When the issues are there in online classes, there are receptive issues in offline classes also. At least in my classes, I did not find any strong difference from my side. And the way I taught in physical classes, the way I similarly a similar response I got in offline online classes also. So indeed, to some extent, I found it beneficial. Take example of this chat box. Many persons can write their views at the same time without disturbing the whole class. But sometime it may happen. Sometime it may happen that maybe many students, 3-4 students want to speak at the same time. They are not getting chance because of paucity of time. This is an added advantage. So everything comes with advantages and disadvantages. So if online teaching has certain disadvantages, there are advantages also. And many people can write on chat box, and you can just see the chat box and respond. So without disturbing the speaker. Now the second advantage that I found is that suppose I have to make a question. For example, I asked the students that can you tell me what was the timing of Aristotle? And I am not remembering. Now immediately one can go for internet search and immediately found and place it in the chat box for the benefit of everyone. So you are not required to put up the matter for maybe next day. You can easily find. So giving you example of some case, I've asked students that in Supreme Court judgment, one judgment, Justice Nariman has developed 3 concepts of human right. What is that concept? And then students have maybe they have gone to internet, googled it and tried to find and then placed it that in Shreya Singhal case in 2015, Justice Nariman has developed this idea of 3 concept of human right. So now the question comes and you can get immediate answer, an immediate response. You do not place the matter for maybe next day. So that way you can also engage with the students in a better fashion than, so suppose you are in the physical class. Of course in physical class now mobile phones are there. I'm aware that many teachers do not like mobile phones to be used. I always say that no, you use mobile phone, you use computer and you use internet. I do not know. I always suggest all my juniors, all my younger friends here, that encourage students to use their laptops with internet connection and mobile phone with internet connection for the purpose of course, for the purpose of studies, and always encourage them to verify because nobody is perfect. So we all should be open to improvement. It also makes us more alert. Now, regarding one of the complaints that I have received from many people, that students do not open video mode. I told you what I did in my classes, that I told the students that you have to change your maybe your maybe service provider and get a broadband connection because you are securing money. I understand this is not a universal type of argument which can be made in all places. But at least in those places where students can afford, this argument can be successfully used and has been successfully used. So video mode. So I told the students after maybe 20 days that if video mode is not open, at least for some time, you can go for offline mode also for some time, but video mode should be open for some time. You will not be given attendance. And so when the attendance were not given, I found the video mode open. So it keeps the student as well as teacher sometimes very attentive. So this heart-to-heart talk and eye-to-eye contact, I understand, is more possible in the classes, but on the online mode also we can make it possible. Another significant point as to the quality is when the EWS judgment was being given by the Constitution Bench of the Supreme Court on the constitutional validity of economic backward section, reservation for economic backward section, many of us have seen the online constitution bench proceeding. So I was discussing with certain teachers, and teachers were of the opinion that when these type of judgments are delivered, the whole institute should sit, all students should sit together, and they should see this proceeding. So this is how this online teaching can be revolutionized. So then teachers, students training, it is now possible. We can go for many training. Of course, quality is a concern. Online lectures with physical lectures. From abroad also, teachers can interact with us. Delhi teachers can interact in Guwahati. Delhi teachers and many good teachers in Mumbai, and teachers from IIT and IIM, they can interact in a remote place also. So the promise that we made in the preamble to the Constitution, we the people of India will provide equality of opportunity. Internet is providing it with limitations. Another advantage is multiple lectures. So one day I can have one lecture in Pune and other lecture in maybe Guwahati, and I have done it, and I know many of you must have done it. So it is possible now, the two lectures. And financially speaking, on a lighter note, you can have two remunerations also. I understand it's just 1,000, 2,000 rupees. Then I told you that we are less dependent on office also. You want to study for maybe after 5:30, the office will be closed. The staff will come, say, nahi, band karna hai ab to. But in late evening, we can study. We have done it, and I think many of you must have done it. Sometime we are busy whole day in the training program. In the evening, we can start from 8 p.m. and can go up to 8 p.m., 8 to 10 p.m., sometime 11 p.m. Night we have done, and I'm sure some of you must have done it. So late evening we can go. We can start early morning also. We can have our classes from remote places also. Sunday and holidays we can enjoy. So it is a more satisfying experience for me. So I can give you another example which is certainly very, very befitting here, that one of our colleague had viral, but she was on leave, but I found she is engaging classes. So I asked, oh my God, how are you engaging class? So the colleague told me that I had viral, but the doctor said you are fit, you should not move, but you can take classes. So even if you are sick, you can engage your classes, and so is the case of our students. So I know that two of our students have engaged the classes from the hospital. So this is also a possibility. This made the access more and more easier. Another challenge is examination. So now we have dealt with access, communication, quality, examination. What type of examination, if online mode we are doing? How to conduct examination is certainly a big challenge. So should we submit handwritten? Should we take handwritten submission online? Should it be typed submission? I have examined some of the answer sheets which are handwritten submission but which are sent online. In online submission, when it is handwritten, the examination department has to be careful that the screenshot is very clear. Sometime I found that screenshot is not clear. So they should be very, very careful, and I understand that many of the faculty members are engaged in examination type of job also. So they should be very careful that the interest of a student is not jeopardized if there is the screenshot is poor. So we need to address this. Then should it be open book or should it be under invigilator? This is another challenge. Should the time be 3 hours like classical or conventional time? Should it be more? These things has to be addressed, and I think this is something where a very good policy paper can be written. And if you have written paper, if you have any other experiences, do share with me. I also found during this online submission that the same passage has been used by 4 or 5 students, and this is very easy to find. So this is one such experience I'd like to share with you. I'm now coming to the fair end of this training, this interaction. Now, one thing that I have really missed is interaction with PhD students and dissertation students. And I have found myself in a difficult position to appreciate online mode. So a dissertation student or a PhD student, usually what they do, they come to the department, sit in the library, study something, come to me, discuss with me for maybe 1 hour, 2 hour, go back to library. So this is a type of regular thing. In dissertation also the students do like this thing, every day discussion, if not every day, every 2 day, 3rd day, 4th day discussion. So this I missed during online interaction. This probably is another challenge, because online probably that type of interaction cannot take place the way it takes place for the purpose of PhD supervision or dissertation. But I am not telling that online cannot be taken, but I am telling that what I am suggesting is that this better interaction with the student was possible in physical interaction. So I am not suggesting that online interaction is a substitute to physical interaction. During lockdown period, certainly this was a compulsion, but we need to reap the benefit of this online teaching, online interaction, and I really appreciate the approach of the UGC that they have allowed 40-60 ratio. We should also try to do this. Lastly, I would say that there are 3-4 things that I have found which I think is very good. I think many of you must have found this automatic certificate type thing. You appear in a conference, you go for a seminar, and maybe after the seminar you are not required to run for certificates. Once you place your of details, your attendance, your feedback, a certificate is automatically generated. See how the science has revolutionized. Again, you are independent. It has made you independent. You need not to run from pillar to post for one certificate. Now, online teaching, online interaction can be recorded and a revision can be made. That is probably the biggest advantage. The recording, revision, and then modification, this can be done, which is not there in case of physical classes. We know, being a teacher, we all know that we prepare hard for classes. When we go to the classes, we speak something which suddenly comes to our mind, and I'm sure many of you must have, because all of you, most of you are teacher, all of you must have experienced it, that you go to the class and suddenly a new idea comes which you have never thought of. Now the point is, prior to 2018, I always thought that okay, I will go sit in room and write those ideas and develop, but this was not made possible because of either I forgot those ideas or there was no time. But now online classes, these type of seminar and conferences, it can be recorded, and I always encourage recording, and then you can go for revision and then you can further develop it. So I have extensively benefited myself with that. I have started this recording myself, or maybe I've requested recording from all seminar conferences. When I found that it was difficult, I have learned how to record it. How to record it, that is, there is a provision for a screen recording and you can record it yourself. And then I have heard it two times, 3 times, 4 times, and some of these videos I have uploaded on YouTube channel. So I can see those anytime and will remember that I have not to make the same mistake that I have done previously. So it has also benefited many students. So someone is in Guwahati, someone in many remote places, so they can also be benefited, not today, but maybe after 20 days, after 30 days, after maybe 1 year. I had see the power of this online recording. Justice Nariman, a great judge of India, he has started his own channel and he is placing his thoughts and maybe in basic structure theory, rule of law. A lot of recordings are available and I'm benefited. I think like me, many of you can also be benefited. New thoughts, I already told you, new thoughts are coming and they are recorded and you can make improvements, and I suggest all of you should do. Please encourage recording, even recording of the classes, recording of every idea that is coming. Then another thing is that immediate response. So online there are immediate response also. Sometimes people make insulting response, but need not to worry. As it is often say, I have not taken your insult, it has gone back to you. So immediate response is there and you can improve yourself. So that is one, and I have already dealt with this automatic certificate. Now I open the house for any discussion, any questioning, any comment, any agreement, and most importantly for me, any disagreement. I will also see what are there in chat box and try to respond all of you. I would be happy to share with you that you can search me on YouTube, Anuragdeep ILI, and many of you can find videos of your interest. They may not be useful for LLB students, they are useful for MA students, PG grade students, especially for law students, all those who are interested in maybe somehow something in political thoughts and law. Thank you very much. Over to Ashish or Vijay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Uh, Chat was open for questions, but I do not actually see any questions. If any of you have any questions for sir, now would be the time to actually ask. You can type if you want, or you can raise your hand. The host can allow you to speak as well. Your choice. If somebody has a question, please raise your hand or just type yes or something so that we know that you're typing a question. I don't think there are any questions.
But I would only comment that this is not the good sign for academia. Don't make your resource person go make a smooth selling. Ask as many questions as you can, and also encourage your students to ask questions. So I understand there are some compulsions, maybe to some, but out of 52 or 50, there are no questions. That indeed is not very encouraging for academia, I'd only say. So if there are any questions, you can share your experiences also, your online experiences. They may not be questioned, but I think the organizers can allow it. Yes, please.
Sir, you actually raised a kind of query in the starting, and I think most of them have answered it in both. So basically, the online interaction and the physical interaction, both are important. So most of them have responded.
That's
Yeah. And in addition to your query regarding or your point regarding this, this generation of online certificate, we are also using the same technology in order to award the certificate of the FDP to the participants. So we have a question, sir. It is from Mr. Surendra. Is there any way to conduct practical papers effectively through online mode?
Well, there is always a way. There is always a way. So let us not think that there is no way. We all know that operations are done online. So if the medical operations can be done online, why the practical papers cannot be done online? So this is one that let us be positive that practical papers can be done online. Take example of law. What are the practical papers? In the practical papers, sometimes the students go to the court, sometimes the teachers come and maybe take their practicals, so they can be taken. I don't find any problem in that. So I think this can be done, subject to some limitations. This can be done. Yes. Any other query, please?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. There is another one in the chat box. So how can we make online platforms more safe in terms of spamming, which usually happens in open platforms? Your views on that? The question has been asked by Azad Singh. Yeah.
Yes, yes. I see it like this, that when a new thing comes, there is a natural inclination of experiment. Sometimes we are not aware of the consequences, the impact also. I'm sure you must have experienced some of the videos when we are online. In the background, there are some videos, some pleasant videos, some child rushing to you, somebody is maybe shouting at you, maybe my wife shouting at me. So so but sometimes similarly, uh, there are not many people who do it deliberately. We place it either because we do not know, we are ignorant, or because of maybe experiment. I think with the passage of time, we can maybe be more mature, because it is just 2-3 years old. So let us appreciate and let us try to live with it. Try to live with it. The best way is to, number one, to ignore. As I always say, that to ignore, number one. Number two, to educate the people. Number three, to persuade them that no, you need not to do. Number four is the compulsive mode also, that you don't allow them to write. Sometimes we will know that the participants are not allowed to speak, or without permission they cannot do. So I think these are the part of life. So these problems will always be there. लेकिन जैसा कहते हैं ना कि जो है चलते चलते गिर जाएंगे, चोट लग जाएगी, तो इसका ये मतलब तो है नहीं कि बच्चे को हम चलने नहीं देंगे. ठीक है ना? So we have to go with this. Yes, please. Anyone, any other person?
Yeah, we do have another question, sir. There is one question, yeah, on legal literacy through Hindi medium and the online challenges to it.
Yes, this question is indeed more closely to my heart, more close to my heart, that there are challenges. Not only Hindi language, Hindi medium, but Indian medium is a challenge itself. So it is not that we have any competition with English. English is also a very good language like any other language. So, but Indian languages need to maybe penetrate online medium also. And the best thing is that if you cannot write English, you can speak maybe in Hindi. So even if you cannot write Hindi, you can speak Hindi. I understand that there is some problem in writing. We have learnt Hindi writing, so I write. Usually I write. I also respond to my mails. If they have come in Hindi, I respond in Hindi. So best thing is that you can speak. If you are if you want to serve the Indian, the students of non-English background, you can at least speak, make your videos. If you want to write, if you have written something, especially the academia, you have written many things in English, you want to get it published in Hindi, Google Translate has improved in last 4-5 years very much. 4-5 years ago, Google Translate was not very good, but now the Google Translate is very bad, very good. Means sometimes I'm surprised that many persons who cannot translate, who are expert in translation, they take time, but the Google Translate does it perfect. So try for that. Not in all cases, but in many cases you will be very satisfied. So you can place it on maybe is the help of Google Translate. Third is that There are tools available, writing tools available for Hindi that I use for my laptop. So offline also you can write. You have to download that app and you can write on that. So there are certainly challenges for Hindi medium and other medium students, but at the same time, there are answers for all such challenges. I think this question from maybe Dr. Stangen sir, who is currently coming and discussing with me these things. Very good. Apala Vats has also a question, sir. Do you think that online education increases already existing class divide in the Indian society? See, this question was raised in many forum. The first serious serious question was raised when this hybrid mode of teaching was allowed by UGC, indeed encouraged by UGC in 2021. Then many teachers have said that it will increase the divide. Number one, that I take it as a hypothesis. No strong studies have been done, because see, there are both advantages and disadvantages. I told you the story of computer, that in 1986 we thought that what will happen, it will increase more and more unemployment. It will be just for those who are maybe people who can afford. But the technology has gone like anything, and now from computer to laptop to a cell phone, a smartphone, it is available with very maybe those persons who are maybe driving e-rickshaw, at least a smartphone is there. So similarly, I think it is increasing the class divide. There are possibilities, and it is doing. At the same time, it is also reducing in many places. So a conclusive statement cannot be made unless there is a study done, and the study says with maybe samples that it is doing. I don't think it is doing it. I find 3 more messages. Let me take, and I'm really happy to see that the intervention by Vijay and others have given fruits, and there are some questions. This is known as breaking the ice. Varsha, RK Varsha, sir, how can you make online classes more effective like offline classes? Yes, agree. Number one, my experience is not that the offline class is more effective than the online class. But many of my teachers have told me, many of my colleagues have told me, my friends told me that, sir, online classes are less effective than offline classes. This question is something like LLM 1 year is good or LLM 2 year is good. I would say that seriousness of the classes plays vital role, and if you use the chat box, if you use the poll mode, if you are connected with the students, probably online classes are equally effective that like the offline classes. Indeed, in offline classes, the multiple persons cannot participate, while in online classes, multiple persons can participate easily. So I would say that I am not of the view that offline classes are more effective and online less effective. I find both of them very good. Astha Thakur has raised another question: how do we deal with caste divide in terms of technical and digital education? I think this question needs some explanation. How do we deal with caste divide? Means I understand this divide between rich and poor, hierarchy between two groups, that I understand, but how is this caste divide in terms of technical and digital education? Does it mean that the vulnerable group from scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, they don't have access to computer and technology and internet, so it is placing them in a difficult position so far as digital education is concerned? I'm not sure about that. So if Astha, you can make some intervention, I will be thankful to you. I go to the next question. Manoj Arvind, sir, you mentioned that internet media is more effective mode of communication from Shreya single case, how can we make the online presentation more effective, since when PPTs are displayed to students, they just take screenshots and don't interact much? Yes. See, this challenge of PPT, see, PPT is there for last maybe 20 years, projectors and PPT. So making it interactive is certainly a challenge, but the interaction can be done by asking some friendly questions, placing them, means allowing them to make maybe light comments also, making them comfortable that their comment will not be taken at otherwise, and this is not a matter of prestige issue. A class is not a place where we should come with various prestiges that I am big, I know this, and someone will, if someone will be asked, so someone will ask maybe wrong question, then he will be insulted. No, not like that. So making them comfortable is the way. I don't think there is some A plus B whole square type of answer for this. But I think making them know, number one, that this is the forum where you can speak, number one. Number two, don't discourage them if the questions are wrong. Indeed, if some student is laughing at those questions, those students should be discouraged. And I often say in my classes that the Supreme Court commit mistakes and blunders, so we can also commit mistakes and blunders. So don't worry for that. And ask weird questions. So maybe sometime we should be ready to face the questions like why 2 plus 2 is 4, why it is not 5. Let us be ready for those questions. So interacting with, so there is another way that you can pinpoint the student also. I have found that the students have not answered, but when I asked the questions with the name, means like Vijay, can you answer this question, and Vijay have answered. When I asked Ashish, you answered, then Ashish have answered. I know both of them were very interactive in my classes. I had never to tell, but to others also who were little shy, I have pointed them out, Mr. So and so, can you answer this? And they have answered this question. So you can sometimes take the risk of pinpointing the student, requesting them to answer the question. Another way that I have started from this year is that when I go to the classes, I tell them that you close your laptop and maybe mobile phone, and I give you 3 questions, and you write those questions and answer those questions like a type of class test. And all of them answer, and I do not disclose the answer in public domain. I just see them and then tell him this is right and this is wrong. This is also one such way to interact. They are taking a screenshot, that is good. Let them take in screenshot. Let them share. Let us share. Please tell everybody I am going to share. Then are there any other question? Yes, Astha has referred, Astha has just made a clarification. I mean, how can we deal with hierarchy? Yes, uniform education model, if at all we can. Yes, if you have hierarchy, means maybe hierarchy because of allegedly bigger caste, scheduled tribe. This is one hierarchy. Another hierarchy can be because of rich and poor. Another hierarchy can be because of regional divide of Hindi medium versus Tamil medium, or Bangla medium versus Assamia medium. So this hierarchy, see, the hierarchy is not bad so far as we have the spirit of equality. Hierarchy is there. So some hierarchy with respect and dignity is all right. Okay. But the other party should not be put to disadvantage. At least the equality of opportunity should be given to everyone. You provide equality of opportunity, they may perform, they may not perform, that is a different matter. So I think this uniform education model does not mean one education model. When we say uniform, it does not mean one education model that everyone has to, in India, everyone has to be educated by only one book, only one thought process. That is not like that. And that is not the intention of new education policy, the national education policy also of 2020. So while it is difficult to remove the hierarchy that you are telling, but we can try to do it as far as possible. At least being a member of academia. That should be our effort. Yes, any other question, any other point, any agreement, any disagreement, that is welcome, please.